G'day, Patriots. Welcome to the Stream of Consciousness. This is our 10th episode, coming to you live, as always, 8 o'clock every Tuesday, here with our resident homeless man, John McGowan, and our political capybara, Enoch. G'day, guys.
Good evening.
G'day, guys. It's been a huge week. Another huge week.
Hectic. I went up the coast. I took the family up the coast just to chill out for a bit. I come back to just an absolute shit fight. Look, John, I'm just going to let you just lead with this because it's just been insane.
Well, I don't know. We were hoping to get someone on from one of the warring factions from MF. Well, we're just going to call them MFA 1 and MFA 2 for the time being, or the splitters. I mean, it didn't come out of nowhere. Like, I think anyone who was talking to those guys for the last few months probably knew it was in the mail. And now they've done the big official split. Look, end of the day, and I put a lot of this in a more esoteric way in a Substack earlier in the week. I don't think it matters that much, so long as the marches get organised. Like, let's go back to first principles here, right? Like, what's the whole point of this exercise? End mass migration to Australia. What's one of the vehicles? Mass protest on the streets of major capital cities. Now, does it matter at that point if there's internal ructions between them? So long as they get organised, right? So I think at this point, I mean, it'll probably help things, right? Like, having a little bit of a competitive atmosphere may actually help them. Increase numbers, increase promotion, make them more professional, because they're going to be fighting with each other over who's doing it better, and whether or not the war between homespun tuck shop nationalism and Queensland optics friendly cashed up to the eyeballs nationalism, although we don't know if they've really got money or not. That's what everyone's saying. Who's gonna win? We win in the end, right? Like, everyone who wants political change in this country wins by having them actually arguing with each other. So, I don't think structurally it's that big a deal, but it is chewing up a lot of their time, and I don't think a lot of these people are walking and chewing gum guys. So, thankfully, we've got another 30 odd days. We've got Christmas, and then they can get their shit together before Australia Day. So
they need to bear
to hear what everyone else thinks.
But I guess for any viewers who somehow missed all of what was going on, which I don't know.
Oh yeah, I just dived into it. I didn't explain it.
Yeah, thinking about cohort who can't. So March for Australia was the thing that I don't understand is March for Australia was always kind of not really a top-down organisation. They sort of framed themselves as being this organic, grassroots, up from the ground. A series of marches because people are frustrated by the negative impacts of mass migration. And then, for the first march, which across Australia was huge, I think the Queensland guys run by, what's his name? Shallow Chow? Is that his?
Yeah, Shallow Chow. I can't remember his real name. But...
So he ran a march up in Queensland, which arguably a lot of people said was one of the better ones. And his whole shtick was that he kept the NSN out. New South Wales one that I went to was huge and was awesome. And they had a more lax approach, and then obviously Victoria was Victoria. But then there seems to have been this sort of split that's slowly come along where Charles decided that he wants to create, I think it's Australian marches, and sort of still push ahead with marching against mass migration and a whole raft of other issues. Whereas the original MFA organisers are feeling a little bit salty, like sort of Queensland's been stolen from them. And well, for some reason, we get caught in the crossfire. Like, we were trying to discuss this, and I invited, I think it's Bender, to join the stream, and people are just sort of, it's like this weird circular firing squad where Bender's calling us goons, and then other people don't want to join the stream.
That's right. I forgot that he called us goons. That was last week. Yeah,
exactly.
Look, my understanding is that the Queensland second march, I mean, I tuned in for the speeches. They weren't good. There was like the politician speeches, like we talked about it on this stream, that didn't, I think Malcolm Roberts didn't address immigration. I think Renwick didn't even say immigration. Now, I think look, this is my understanding of what's happened. And if you want to park the Nazi discussion, I guess we can. But they I think that the national organization wanted to have more say about who would speak at the Queensland event.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Queensland organisers have then pushed back and said, well, we're not putting the Nazis in, and then it's broken into a complete shit fight. And I think it does break open the larger discussion about like what is the extent of NSN involvement in March for Australia, and where
I think
where
that they
do
just
people who are between the Liberal Party and Nazis stand on the NSN insisting on speaking at an event, that we march in or something like that?
I don't know though. Like, I don't know the extent to which, like, they showed up in Melbourne. They helped organise it. I don't think they really did that much organisation in Sydney. They just showed up and spoke. I mean, look, people get really hung up on the speeches, and I'm as bad at this as anyone because I get hung up on the reading off fucking iPhones and stuff that really grates on me. But look, I don't think that matters. Like, I just don't think the speeches matter. And the way it was originally organised, the only people who cared who was organising it were fucking 9 Fairfax journalists, right? Who are still the only people out in the mainstream who are like really obsessing about who organised it. I mean, I don't think the whole thing is some kind of NSN psyop. Like, I think it's, they got involved because it's a right-wing march. Like, that's.
But then isn't it a pretty easy sell to not platform them then? Like,
well, this is the big challenge, right? Like, if I don't think it's a question of platforming them or not platforming them, right? I think it's a question of, things live or die by their quality. Things, we have to, we're meant to be right wingers. We should be having a more Darwinian approach to these things, right? A National Socialist guy showed up to ours in Tasmania and he literally spoke for 30 seconds. And the crowd just turned on him and just got this kind of like passive, like, we don't want to hear that. It was right before I spoke, actually. Like, I had to get up and speak right after that guy. And just no one mentioned it. Like, it was fine. And like, it wasn't like people were angry at him in the crowd. Like, people were still coming up and talking to him. Like, it wasn't a big deal. I don't think the right way to go about it is to draw a line under it and say, this is a Nazi-free zone or whatever. Like, respond to what they're saying. I mean, the reality is, this is where, the hardcore, like, anti-NSN guys run into trouble, is because when these guys speak, they're actually really good, right? Like, none of them suck. Like, they didn't put any of their B-listers up in the major capital cities, and we know that they have them. So, when Joel gave a great speech, Thomas gave an amazing speech, even Jack Eltis burst onto the scene with a good speech. I mean, actually, if you weigh them all up across all the marches nationwide, the NSN speeches were some of the best ones. So then it becomes like, well, are you going to lock these guys out because bad optics? I mean, we have bad optics anyway, right?
But it's all optics, right? Look, I'll tell you my concern is on Australia Day, there will be leftists marching around the place. It's their day. We're actually, to a certain extent, we are marching on their day. They've established it as the day that they come out and shit can Australia, and we're going to be counter marching.
We need to win it back.
Now, if the Nazis get into their antics, like, what happens if they kill some old Aboriginal woman who's out there marching or something?
But like,
come on,
like,
man.
There's they like starting a fight, and we just won't recover from that. Like, it'll just be
sure. But what happens if Australia explodes into the sun? Like, it's kind of like
yeah.
I guess the issue here is.
But the thing is, like, these are the things people were saying before the August 31 march, right? Nothing bad happened.
Right.
Like, these guys really behave themselves too. I mean, that's kind of their whole shtick, and this is
in
why
Melbourne they've marched up a hill and attacked a bunch of people.
Well, and that's how it looked. I mean, I
know there's a backstory behind it, but
yeah, but I mean that was bad optics. Like that was just
Yes.
bad politics. Like you've had a great day, and then you're going to go ruin it by running up a hill and starting a fight. Like that sucks.
and their leader is sitting in jail now. Like
Yeah, for that. But this is the thing. Like he got off the other charge. He got off the Australia Day one, right? So I don't know. I don't think anyone should be losing that much sleep over the NSN's involvement in.
Well, this is the thing.
Australia.
Many people are losing sleep. Like as you said, 9 Fairfax journalists and a couple of Karens over this, right? Like everyone was freaking out ahead of the first rally. Everyone had some concerns. Some of them were valid. Like I'm not trying to belittle any of the concerns, but nothing ever happens. This is the thing. Like it's the ancient rule of politics. Nothing ever happens. And yeah, there's always the chance that these guys can go in and at the end of the day they're accelerationists, right? Like their entire mindset is to push the limit on everything that they can until something breaks, and then use that issue breaking to say,
I see.
They say their acceleration. That's like their readout. If you point out what they're doing makes no sense, that's what they fall back to justify.
No, I think
what they want to do anyway.
They are trying to push things towards a bigger crackdown on themselves. Like I don't think it's accelerationism per se. Like they're trying to. I mean, I think I said this in some writing ages ago. Like, it's almost like an element of performance art to it, right? Like and this is why the biggest thing that they do that I support the most is whether it was Joel standing up with the Jews Hate Freedom sign, or what they did in Sydney on the weekend with the Abolish the Jewish Lobby sign, right? They go out and they confront people with actually, when you like reduct it down, a pretty benign statement, and then everyone freaks out and they do the thing that the statement is criticizing. Like that's what they've done so far, and like interestingly, that they kind of treated the march, particularly one in August 31, with like a modicum of more respect than that. And so I'm not that worried about Australia Day, and like yeah, I mean I think they've learned some valuable lessons too about some missteps over the last like year and a half or so too. Like their Anzac Day stuff, I think fell really flat.
Do you not think that the New South Wales stunt was a misstep?
No, God, no. The latest one, no, man. I think that was genius.
Oh, really?
Right? Yeah, absolute genius, right? Because what's going to happen now?
So.
The Jewish lobby is now going to crack down and force in a bunch of laws. In fact, I think they're debating them in Parliament today.
Why don't we intro that news then? Like, so for anyone who didn't see, 56 or so of them lined up at State Parliament.
Yeah.
Chris Minns rushed to do a press conference where he then didn't know. He didn't actually have the pertinent information to hand. I think that was a giant mistake. So he's like, no one told us. And then it's like, the police are like, no, we were told. And then today in Parliament, it comes out that they didn't even need permission.
Yeah.
That's something that Chris Minns could have gone into the press conference armed with. That it turns out, if you just protest on a pavement, you don't need to seek permission from anyone. Unless you block a road.
Right.
Anyone can actually protest out the front of Parliament House. So very clever.
Well, they've been doing it. They were doing it for like 15 years that I worked there. Like every single day, there was a guy out the front of Parliament House every day for 15 years holding a sign that said, "Everyone in this building is a pedophile." So like you can do.
So now that we've sort of introed the issue, you were saying that you think it was a great idea or a great option.
I am really smart, right?
And my concern is the they're walking into a trap, which suits their purposes, right? Like as you said,
but they know they're walking into it. I think they are trying.
I'm concerned
to
about
trigger
like free speech
trap
in the state, right? All these sorts of things, and
me too, man, me too. But like at the end of the day, are you ever going to convince anyone of how dire the threat is until it is staring them in the face and knocking on their door? And that's what the NSN are doing, right? The NSA are lighting these fires, forcing. I mean, the government's been pretty quiet, right? And I mean, the government's been maybe for the last like month until Burgess did his ridiculous Slowy speech, which we might get onto later about the Burgess stuff. I think they wanted all this to go away because they know that the bifurcation that's going on in the electorate is a curse on all their houses. They're trying to recapture the electorate with economic policies. They don't want to be talking about this stuff because they know it just widens the peaks. So this has taken them by surprise. They don't want to be talking about this. Everyone who gets paid to do politics in this country, and every single person who is a lobbyist or works in government relations, knows that the Jewish lobby, broadly, is the most powerful lobby in the country, that they're the ones who always get their way. And so it wouldn't even matter if you were anti-Semitic. Like, if all you wanted to do was challenge the Australian government and force their hand and make them look as authoritarian as possible, you would still use the Jewish lobby. It doesn't matter that whether they're Nazis or not. This was always the biggest target to prove the point about the corruption in the heart of Australian managed democracy. It was always going to be them. And like within 24 hours, they proved it. You got Kelly Sloan, the contender for the New South Wales Liberal leadership, from one of the only like 2 state electorates where there's any significant number of Jews. Just immediately coming out on it, then getting in the media saying she's been bullied offline or whatever. Like, it's all there. Like, you can see it. And it's just, we're seeing replayed what happened with the Dural Caravan scandal, where you had something happen that wasn't happening, right? It was nothing. It was made up. And the government has massively overreacted, brought in draconian laws off the back of it, and now the government's going to do it again. And now, look, I don't think this story's over. I reckon the NSN or someone will have to do this maybe 3 or 4 more times before the general public goes, I think we have a problem. I mean, if you look at what is now happening in the UK, I mean, every thinking person in the UK knows that they're living in some kind of twisted progressive police state. But it took dozens of these fires to be started before everyone figured it out. So, man, I'm on the train. Like, I mean, look,
you're optimistic. Well,
I'm not optimistic about my chances of not going to prison for a tweet in the next decade.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm optimistic that, I mean, if of all the trajectories we could be heading on, this is the right one. And out of all the things the NSN guys could be doing, like I've said multiple times on this stream over the last 10 weeks, I think the most positive thing they could do is devote themselves to starting their political party and again proving one of these points in another piece of kind of political performance art that, well, you can't register White Australia. They're going to crack down on you. But second to that is the stuff that Joel started doing months ago when he held up the Jews Hate Free Speech sign. I mean, which was just belongs in history textbooks. You know, the guy holds up a sign that says Jews hate free speech, and then every Jewish organization in the country comes out and says we need to crack down on free speech. It was perfect. You couldn't make it any better.
I'm going to put on my normie. I'm going to put on my normie hat, right, and my normie sort of vaguely blackpilling hat. My concern here is that people don't like the NSN, right? Like broadly, right?
Sure.
And their antics, provide the coverage for people who want to crack down on speech to do so, right? And unlike the Dural, fake caravan hoax, no one's pissed off about a fake caravan that exists, right? But normies are reflexively hate the NSN. So, my concern is that they're pushing this sort of gamble to try and expose that, free speech in Australia is a myth, and, trying to wake people up, I guess, is their mindset around this. And some people agree with that tactic. My concern about the whole sort of, maybe it's accelerationist, maybe it's not, is that this assumes that the normies will wake up and realize that Australia doesn't actually care about free speech and all that kind of stuff, and that, free speech is important, and, standing up for free speech means that you actually need to let people you disagree with and dislike do things that are disagreeable. Am I wrong?
It's a little bit disingenuous, isn't it? Because I don't think they believe in free speech.
The thing is that
I think people know that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, I mean, you tie yourself in knots trying to figure out what those guys actually believe in, and you go into their social media channels. It's kind of like ideologically all over the place. I just don't think that matters that much. I mean, look, I mean, the other thing I guess too is we're living in a world where amongst politically engaged people, you do have this massive division. Like the left don't consume the right's media and the right don't consume the left's media. And the slither in the middle who are getting their news from the ABC, 9 Fairfax, 7 and News Corp and trusting it is getting smaller and smaller every single day. I guarantee you that more people in Australia have seen the unedited version of Joel doing his interview with Mark Burrows that was posted by the Noticer yesterday, then have watched live that actual package.
That was actually that was a really significant development, I actually think, because that full interview where he got all his points across in front of a mainstream journalist, which they didn't air. They didn't air it on their channel. They put like one tiny snippet apparently. And
just a bit where they were talking about what he said about Allegra Spender. Which I mean, look, I don't want to seem like I've been glazing them all night. Like we'll get to some of my criticisms on some of the things that they've done in the last 48 hours or so. But that Allegra Spender thing's kind of one of them. But yeah. Sorry, I interrupted.
That was a one step back moment. I was just going to say on the Min's overreaction. Not only did he rush that press conference, he even said during the press conference, we don't want to give these people oxygen, although I suppose to some extent we're giving them oxygen by holding this. Like,
he admitted it, right?
Yeah, like he went through the mental hurdles. Like, oh shit.
And look, if a group that was like right wing and against immigration that didn't have the Nazi label, if we got 60 people together and had a protest somewhere, I don't think we'd get any coverage.
Dude, look. Yeah, they wouldn't even raise it. And I mean, there has been an anti-immigration party that weren't Nazis in Australia for 30 years, and look at how far they got. Right? I mean, the thing is, and like MAGA in the United States kind of proves this. It's easier to build the transgressive momentum and then get key people to walk it back than it is to build up the momentum without the kind of transgressive radicalism. This is what the alt-right did in the US
like a rejection
pre-2016, right? Today, Richard Spencer is a fucking mystery meat leftist, right? But in 2015, he was like the template for what the stuff Joel Davis is saying now, and today we have Nick Fuentes, who's effectively like a mainstream media personality in the United States, right? That's that's the trajectory you can get on. People,
funnily enough, just on Fuentes, I'm seeing Zoomers now consider Fuentes to be too centrist. It's like the rate of change in that space is like mind blowing.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about this today with someone. I was having a conversation with one of our local guys in Tassie, and we were talking about, because I made this point that I said, look, I think it would be easier to go out strong now, like with the NSN brand, and then walk it back later than it would be to build the brand up from nothing, which is like what everyone else is trying to do. And he made this interesting point that that's essentially exactly what Fuentes did, right? Like Fuentes, if you go back, like he starts out way more right wing than he is now, like on the spectrum as it goes.
Yeah, he's actually in full blown kind of walking it back mode right now.
Yeah,
like,
so
he's been.
I mean, and these guys will.
These guys
will lose their shit if you suggest that, like in 5 years, like the current NSN leadership may not be as overtly National Socialist as they are today. But I mean, like they could actually go the other way though and say, National Socialism, at the end of the day, it's like a legacy political ideology from the 1940s. They could make something new with those tendencies, so they don't have to walk it back, and they could call it, Australian National Socialism or something. Like they could create a new brand. Like there's every option under the sun, but at least they're moving, man. At least they're moving.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
look, I'll get accused of punching right, which obviously I disavow. I don't think anyone should punch right. But my concern is that this high stakes gamble that's being engaged in is actually not going to work and will backfire. And obviously, we'll see who turns out to be right and what that looks like. And again, to get into the weeds on this, what does backfiring look like? To me, backfiring looks like even more regulations that crack down on speech and sharing ideas and even registering political parties and all these kinds of things. Because I'm a free speech absolutist. But for some people, that happening is actually a step in the right direction because to them it exposes that the country doesn't believe in free speech and then hopefully wakes more people up and all that kind of stuff, which is that sort of, hurt yourself to show others what's actually going on kind of mindset. Maybe I'm too boomer. I can't
For
see.
me,
I get the criticism. I get
like there's kind of two categories. Like if they get enough people or get close to it to register a White Australia Party, and then the government bans that and takes the mask off, I think I don't want to start a party called the White Australia Party, but I think there's a lot of people who will be activated knowing that the government would ban you doing that. Like they go, that's my ethnicity, and I'm not allowed to have a party that's in favor of it. That's really good. But on the other hand, some Aboriginal leftist woman with blood streaming down her face on Australia Day, that'd be a bad thing. Or
but this is the commentary I'm seeing, right?
Jews,
and it's already happening.
A bad thing.
Is that people are saying, well, hang on, it's okay for pro-Pally protesters to run around saying all kinds of stuff, but it's not okay for 60 dudes to stand outside Parliament and hold up a sign, even if
it's already working.
Yeah, even if you find that sign offensive, even if you think that it's a bad idea, I am seeing people on Facebook
it's bad
comments.
Policy. How do you abolish a lobby?
Yeah.
Well,
it's not actionable.
I mean, actually,
but this is the thing, though.
It is actually possible. I mean, if you think about it, right? I mean, to what extent? I mean, so many lobbying parts of our society where lobbyists occupy are heavily regulated, and yet, I mean, did you know if you look on the foreign actor registry? I mean, what's it called? The foreign influence registry. I mean, Israel appears like twice. I mean, that they haven't been. You can't tell me that these guys have zero contact with the state of Israel. I mean, you think about how. I mean, it's interesting that the High Court. The only time the High Court has ever upheld and Joel said this in his interview, but it's actually not right. He said that the High Court has always upheld political communication protections. It's not true. There was one time when they allowed them to be impeded, and that was in the case of the property development lobby. So if you look at the precedent, there is a precedent there for being able to impede on the political communication rights of organized lobbyists, not on individuals, not on collective political organizations, but on lobby groups and on business lobbies. You absolutely can impinge on their political communication rights. So, yeah, I think you could as a policy. And I mean, don't we want that? I mean, don't we have supposedly in Canberra an entire department devoted to tracking down agents of foreign influence? And Mike Burgess stood up at the Lowy lecture last week and talked about this, and everything he said was retarded. But we were meant to be cracking down on this stuff, right? I mean, United Workfront, China's foreign lobbying organization, is effectively unable to run in Australia now, except cryptographically, because we did crack down on it. So... yeah, look, I think you absolutely could. I mean, look, if I was going to try and frame it for normies, and if I was on Sky News with Freya Leach, I would frame it as saying we want to abolish all lobbies for foreign, whether it's a foreign ethnicity or a foreign state or a foreign religion, we want to abolish that in Australia. But I mean, that's not what you do when you
controversial, right?
It shouldn't be controversial, right?
But I mean, then you'd put on the sign "abolish the Israel lobby," which I'm sure they considered doing, But they went with the Jewish lobby. Like,
Yeah,
But
because their aim
that's
is
how
to-
it got the
It's provoked,
Jews.
of course.
Yeah,
It's
like,
provocative. It gets the people going.
I mean, that's their aim, right? Their aim is to not to use a Daily Wire term, but their aim is to try and trigger as many people and then cause a reaction. And I I am fearful that it's going to backfire because we already have limited rights in this country. We only have an implied right to political communication in this country.
If there were a single viable political alternative right now, then I would probably have the same view as you do. But without one, like and actually, have you seen the 2GB piece this week about Liberal Party branch memberships going down and the time frame? It almost syncs up over the last 10 weeks. So since we've been doing this stream and like getting people aggravated about the Liberals, since total Liberal death has now been manifested in real life. I mean, the Liberals are dead as
this stream's now at 6,500 viewers, which is wild.
There's not that many actually in the stream. Like, I think there's people
spreading misinformation.
I'll have a look. I will have a look.
It's getting exposed to more people on Twitter than previous weeks. Yeah,
I reckon one of the Nazis probably dumped it on Telegram. That's probably what happened. So that's probably why we've doubled our viewers. But yeah, look. Oh yeah, man, we are doing actually crazy numbers right now. That's that is probably like our midstream. Like, there's 740 guys actually like watching live as we speak. So
cool.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? Like, you're right, and it's probably just coincidental, but I'm going to pretend it's not. As this stream has sort of picked up, the Liberal Party vote has collapsed. And part of that is just because people are realizing that the Liberal Party conserves nothing, and Conservatives have conserved nothing over the last quarter of a century or even longer. But even they wore free speech like a skin suit for years. People remember the whole 18C fight that they then gave up on. Even some of those guys are now looking at what happened in New South Wales and going, oh, well, actually, maybe we do need to crack down on things. And I'm fearful. But we'll see what happens, right?
I'm not, for a couple of reasons. I mean, one, I have a lot of confidence in the High Court, weirdly. I think, and I go back to my chief criticism of the NSN that I've had now for weeks. They need to get off their ass and register the party. I don't know what their strategy is, but whatever your strategy you think it is, it's wrong. Do it now. Like, it should already have been done. The party will give them some protection, and I actually don't believe they can stop them from doing it. I really don't. And I think that the precedent is going to be that nothing short of a referendum can stop them from having a party registered, because that's the precedent that was set in the 1970s with the attempted abolition of the Australian Communist Party, right? And we went to a referendum and it lost. Now, the funny thing is, with what we know about the Australian electorate, would a referendum to abolish the White Australia Party pass? That we don't know. Like, we just
I would say that it would, because there's so much sort of guilt around even the word white.
It would be for guys like us. It would be the most important campaign of not just our lifetimes, but of like in Australian conservative history.
They wouldn't hold a referendum on it in a million years.
But that's true if they were competent. And this is the other reason why I'm white-pilled on this stuff, right? Is that these guys are fucking dumb. You can see it with, like, just today in New South Wales Parliament, right? You've got Chris Minns saying one thing in the lower house. Stephen Lawrence was giving a speech in the upper house. Like, that's where that stuff about the forms comes out of. Like, they're contradicting each other. No one knows. This thing's going to get buried in committees, and no one's ever going to actually pass anything. And if you look at what happened with the new laws after the Dural Caravan stuff, it's not like the cops even use them anyway. The police just want this issue to go away. the problem for the police and the NSN are being really smart with this is they're not giving them any reason to crack down on them. Right in Victoria,
they're not so disciplined, are they?
Yeah. No. Well. I mean, I don't. Maybe they. Well, it only takes one incident, right, and that just triggers the tsunami. But they don't have that in New South Wales yet, so we shall see. But
I mean, I watched an interview with I think it was the New South Wales Police Commissioner and Sherry Markson, and she was grilling him about why this protest was allowed to go ahead, why it wasn't shut down, all that kind of stuff, and he was giving his bog standard sort of robotic answers, which is, well, they filled out the correct forms, as they did all the right things in order for it to go ahead. But he kept pitching to the idea that the reason why it couldn't happen is because they don't have the legislative instruments to stop it, which to me reads like him signaling to the government saying, change the law so that we can crack down on groups and rallies that we disagree with. And Ben was saying in the chat before, like, this is the most that we've disagreed with each other on one of the streams. But
because all three of us are at different angles. Like, I mean, well, I am an unashamed accelerationist, so I mean, my positions have always been obvious. Like,
there's the redemption.
There's the
That's your excuse for any bad policy.
I want worse policies. We're driving the train off the tracks, guys. I mean, that's what my whole. But so to kind of discursively go back to the MFA stuff. I mean, that's what I put in my Substack piece this week. That what kind of, what if we let the MFA guys run the country? Like, what would happen then? So yeah, I am pretty accelerationist like that, but I don't know. Look, I mean, I do have sharp criticisms of them, though. I mean, like the Telegram chat stuff about Allegra Spender. I mean, at this point, surely someone's watching every single thing you say.
And again, for anyone who's living under a rock, can we just explain to them what happened? Enoch, maybe, or John, do you guys want to?
Yeah, Enoch is the my reference explainer. Yeah.
Sorry, which part of the reference you want me to explain?
Oh, the whole Allegra Spender stuff.
The Allegra Spender thing, yeah.
Well, my understanding is that the NSN said that she should be rhetorically raped, correct? And
yes,
then...
well, yeah. Thank you. We've now just lost our 1,000 extra viewers that we had because you said the R word. Normies, get out!
All our AI bots up there.
Yeah, all our AI bots have just fled because you said an algorithmically bad word. I don't know. Yeah, although I haven't figured out which ones are the bad words yet. But yeah, they said that. They said that in their Telegram, and Allegra went just feral. I don't even know what he was said to have said about Kelly Sloan. He denied saying anything about Kelly Sloan today. Kelly has also jumped on the I was bullied off X bandwagon, but it looks more like that was just Ozpil ratioing her to hell and back with an absolutely hilarious post. Let me see if I can find it. Hold up. It's in one of our group chats, I think, Brian.
Let me try and find it.
Hold on. It was this morning. Sorry, this is why we need a Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah. If critics of foreign lobbies get jailed, doesn't that just prove their point? And he got like 804 likes, which is a lot on a New South Wales politics tweet. And she got like 3 on her. So then she deleted her account.
Yeah, it's pretty
a few hours later.
X. It's if you're like a politician, you're just like X is just like walking into a viper's nest. You're just gonna get annihilated. And it's for me, it's kind of funny to watch. But look, with the whole Allegra Spender thing, I mean, I think we've been disagreeing most of this stream, but I think we can all agree that was a mistake and a half.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's the kind of chaotic nature of these things, right? Like Who was it in my mentions today? Said sometimes it feels like the NSN leadership are like babysitting guys with IQs 30 points lower than theirs. Like it's, I can imagine, like from the few kind of reads I've had of their like Telegram chats and stuff, like it's a pretty chaotic environment. Like, it's actually pretty moderate for the stuff those guys say, but they should have been more careful. Like compared to the cock up of the August 31 throwdown with the what was it called? The embassy
Camp
guys, like
Camp Sovereignty.
It's kind of like not. I don't think it's that big a deal. And plus, it got them in front of the cameras, right? So
This is like it's like but you're not Alexander. One of the generals before when the battle said, "I'd attack at night. If I were Alexander, I'd attack at night." And Alexander said, "You're not Alexander." We can sit around going, well, if I was the Nazis, I would have chosen a smarter tactic. It's like, well, I wouldn't have chosen the whole brand. The whole brand kind of indicates they're on a different track.
And this is like one. I mean, when you watch that interview, like, there are two things that I would do different, or three things I would do different if you include not wearing pit vipers to your interview. But I don't know. I'm not a I'm not a Zoomer, but I actually think they're off the mark with the "I am definitely a racist" thing that they keep doing. Like,
this is what Fuentes has actually criticized him about. Like the funny thing, we've spoken about this before. The funniest thing for people who are sort of moderate conservative or to the left of I'd say us is they all hate Nick Fuentes with a passion. Except the person who's been most critical of the Australian NSN is him, right? Like he says that their whole shtick of going around saying that they're the villain and that they're racist and all that kind of stuff is counterproductive.
I think the best the best messaging you can use is you should stare down the barrel of the camera and say, we want mass deportations, we want an end to mass migration, we want a ethnically and culturally homogenous society, and that does not make us racist.
I agree.
Right? That's not racist, right?
Yeah.
That's just wanting a culturally homogenous society. That's just wanting to have a stable society. Like
that's just the same position that almost every culture in every country around the world supports.
And that is like, I know one of your concerns is like, how does this affect everyone who's trying to do something politically meaningful, like adjacent to the mainstream? And like, to me, that's the only thing they do that I think affects us, because, when they say the exact same talking points we're saying, that we want an end to mass migration, that we want remigration, that we want a culturally and ethnically homogenous society, and then they stare at the camera and say, and we're racists. Like, that's a problem. That is an optics problem. Because, like, National Socialism is just an ideology, and it's got a lot of bits bolted onto it apart from the, kind of ethnic and cultural stuff. So you can have the debate on the ideology and win it or lose it. But if they're just going to kind of sabotage the cornerstone of right-wing politics in like globally right now, I mean, this is what everyone's talking about, and deliberately associate it with racism, like it just kind of leaves everyone in a difficult position. Like if you pushed into
their argument though would probably be though, if you're saying, look, I believe in remigration, I think that heritage Australians shouldn't become an ethnic minority in their own country. We need to reduce mass migration, but I'm not a racist. By doing that last thing, that you're sort of pitching to the moral frameworks of their enemies, right? So playing in the sandbox that the left created. So I guess that would be their argument. I'm not sure I understand all that kind of stuff.
But I mean, again, this goes
because instead of accepting the label, what you can do is you can say, look, it's a meaningless term. That's what
Rupert Lowe does.
I like my own people, I like my own family, I like my own nation. There's nothing.
And if you think that's racist, that's on you. But see, the
word racist was invented by Leon Trotsky in 1929. It's a made up concept. I've got no hate.
They don't do that.
I love my own people.
They go straight to the word and own it. Now, look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll work out as a good strategy, but I just don't think man in the street's going to own being a racist, because I mean the point where
It's got a lot of baggage.
Like, I mean, I can say it because I don't ever have to deal with anyone who's not white. Like, I live in like a literal cave in Tasmania, and I'd hang out with you and a capybara and the guys in the chat. But I mean, most people have to live in a world that's got millions of these guys. So you can't do that. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to work out for the long term.
Rue Rising sort of mentioned it, and I was touching on it before. Like, the Rupert Lowe approach is kind of good, right? Like, people call him a racist, and his response is, well, if being a racist means that I support my own, people in our own, homeland, then so be it. His term is, then so be it. And I think, I mean, we're probably splitting hairs here, but I think that's probably the optimal way forward, which is fine if that makes me.
And I mean, at the end of the day, we're splitting hairs on something that wasn't even put on the media. It was, it was something that just the notice ran. So,
that wasn't enough of a gotcha for them to run it, which is interesting.
I think that that's potentially a problem. And look, just generally, like, if having to stand there and say, yes, I'm a National Socialist, by the grace of God, they have not encountered a journalist who's done more than a 3-year university degree. So if they did, if someone wanted to like really debate them on it, I think it could be a problem for them. But, I mean, even if you just use an ounce of common sense and say, oh yeah, the political ideology that lost the war, that's a problem. Like, how are you going to win the war for Australian democracy with an ideology that couldn't win in 1945? I mean, I don't know, but I mean, they get around it. Like, they just kind of like move fast and break things, so it doesn't really seem to affect them that much so far. But I don't know. It's interesting that they chose Sydney, though. That seems to have been a very deliberate choice by them. That they know.
Yeah, I wonder what prompted that.
There. I don't know. Yeah.
I'd love to know what sort of. I'd love to know what prompted that, because most things happen down in Victoria, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I think I saw from Victoria.
They want to.
Yeah.
This is really important to understanding the whole phenomenon. For them, it's about the actual action. Like, in terms of the guys who join up with them, they want to do something. They're riled up about the problems and they want to get out and do so. So they need to organize little activities for their boys. So the Sydney choice could be as simple as they had, 40 young guys saying, "Let's do something." And
this was a good. It was a good one for them to do, I thought. So. Yeah,
you got to get them out and give them a walk every once in a while. It's like a dog or something.
Have you watched Have you watched? I haven't watched the whole thing, but I watched the trailer for their documentary where they go on like a 10K run and then fight each other. Like,
oh, there you go.
Yeah. I only watch, like, I think it's like the first 10 minutes of the actual documentary or something. But,
it's like Proud Boys on steroids. Well, but so.
Which is cool. I think that's cool. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, there's that. There's also like Australia's Sons, I think, which is, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah,
but
that's
Chavura.
That's Chavura aligned.
Oh,
and,
right.
Yeah.
And
so what's to go with Australia's Sons?
They're well, their website's down, so I couldn't do all the research on them I wanted to do.
I'm in their Telegram. I've spoken to some of those guys. So Stephen Chavura started it. Or at least he provided like the kind of philosophical impetus for it. I mean, it's certainly a different vibe to the NSN, but actually, Brian, it's like guys my age and kind of like more like you. Like, it's less.
Oh, it's like men's shed, but you go outside.
Yeah, it's like based men's shed where they're going out and they're like they're putting up flags and stuff and having beers together. Like, I think it's pretty cool.
They're doing flag runs. They're putting flags up.
Yeah.
Absent of kind of larger movement,
by the way,
it doesn't really have the political.
I took the family up to Swansea for a few days, and as I was driving up there were dudes like putting the Australian flag up on an overpass.
That's base.
And then and then when I got to Belmont, which is just north of Swansea, there were other guys putting flags up. So like I didn't expect to still see it happening. Like, it was wild.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's
Dude, here in Tasmania,
allowed to do it.
like it is massive. Actually, like I'm seeing. Yeah, we'll get into it next week, but there's a lot of stuff happening right now. And look, I mean, my advice to people is just join something. Like, doesn't matter really what it is. Just if you want to hang out with the Second Sons guys, or if you want to, you know, dive into the NSN, or join the ANA, or join back, or whatever, like just join anything, right? It doesn't matter as long as you're meeting new people and you're meeting them in real life, and you got a crew that you can do stuff with. Because that's what's good. I mean, look, if Brian's nightmare scenarios come true, if you know it's 1984 in a pantsuit, and E. Karen stops us from communicating, and you know that's what's going to be important, right? Like, you know, so I think it doesn't really matter what you do as long as you do something.
My prediction is that they're going to crack down. Maybe this is the catalyst for it. They were always going to find a catalyst, though, right? Like they're a hammer in search of a nail, and maybe this is the nail that they can identify. I think it's coming. The question is, how do you navigate around that moving forward? I saw Babbitt like last week attacking people for having anonymous accounts, and I agree with Babbitt on a bunch of stuff. I disagree with on others. I really strongly disagree with the idea that anyone who's got an anonymous account is some kind of coward. Like,
yeah,
anonymous accounts.
All my best friends are anons.
Yeah, that's right.
Enoch,
that's right.
Enoch's
an anon, right? Like, yeah. So
no, that's him in real life. In real life,
yeah, that's it. He's actually a capybara. And to me, I'm trying to sort of formulate in my mind, what does that look like? Because I think it's coming. I think there will be the great sort of, you know, crackdown of 2025. And then what happens next? What do you think? Assuming it happens, what do you think happens next?
Well, like I'm not that worried about it, just because the technology is moving so fast now. Like, if they had have done this, like, this is how you kind of know that the whole thing isn't some giant conspiracy being cooked up in a lab in Davos or whatever, because they should have done it in 2016 or when Trump lost in 2020. That was the global moment to crack down. I mean, if they did, so let's say December 10, let's say it's way worse than we think. I mean, look, I've spoken to guys in the tech industry who say it's not going to be that bad, and like 50 to 60% of the Australian public aren't even going to realize they're already age verified. But let's say there's a bunch of stuff snuck in through the back door or whatever. It's going to take you. I mean, I made an app yesterday in 17 minutes for scraping Twitter. I mean, like, to scrape X posts, right? I mean, anyone can code anything now, and they can't restrict access to the AIs. You know, you're going to be able to find novel solutions to every single problem they can put in front of you. Like, you can make your own Telegram tomorrow. They can ban Telegram. You can just make another one. You know, StreamYard, actually, I noticed when we logged in tonight, like, so this is changing next week. They're going to a new platform. We could make our own in a couple of hours. You know, that's the future, right? So, like, anything the government does, particularly a really structurally and culturally incompetent government like the Commonwealth, anything they do, sure, it's going to be a problem if you're a 15-year-old who wants to, you know, watch R-rated content on Roblox or whatever. It's not going to be a problem if you're an adult right-wing political organizer. There's going to be options. So, yeah, I'm not really that worried about what they do online. I'm worried about what they do in real life. Right? I'm worried about, I mean, you know,
rated my house. Hate speech, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, 12 months ago, I got a knock on the door, which was really just a political stitch up because I was working for Bruce Lehrman, right? Like,
but I wonder if that just means we need to speed run the UK experiment, right? Like, that's what's happened in the UK for the last almost a decade, and now it's getting to a point where even normies are waking up. So I don't know.
Well, look, the VPNs are easy. I don't think the ban's going to be that big a deal. And look, the other thing is, it's forcing the companies to value add on monetization. So the big social media brands like I think, they're going to get better on monetization for people so that it's easier to sign up, so that you're more confident giving over your credit card details. The thing we need, the thing that's most problematic in Australia, apart from the law enforcement side of it, is the banking side of it. Mm-hmm. Because we are really tired in Australia into using like these shitty banks to establish our financial credentials online. It's very difficult to use more independent and better anonymized banking structures because of the ATO, because they want to get their grubby little fingers in your pocket. So, that's a problem. But again, like you could, you could fix that in the space of a couple of weeks with a good app. It's just going to take people who don't really want to do it for money. Someone just said we're at 10K. What? Holy shit! No, it's got to be a bug on the app.
Yeah, something's going wrong. No,
there's nothing. Yeah, there's no way.
We consistently do okay each week, but
that's a lot.
We're on a generation.
All right, well,
yeah. We're on a generation.
Dude, no, actually, it's not. I'm inside the analytics now. Yeah, shit, man. We're already at half as many minutes watched at 9 p.m. as we usually are after 7 days.
Well, we better do a proper intro.
There's 6.4 viewers, 6.4K actual viewers in right now. So, guys, when you see on my X stream, when you see those views, that's literally just the number of people who like scroll past it. But in my analytics, I can see, I can see the actual stuff.
Oh, we better do a proper intro then, right? So, how does it do it? Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Australia First, Stream of Consciousness. We've got a really great show for you tonight. Really big show.
Big show.
Yeah, big show.
Yeah. Big show. Like and subscribe. So if you want to buy us a coffee,
subscribe. Yeah.
who's buying us the coffee?
But seriously though, you should follow us all on Twitter. That helps.
Yeah.
They changed the algorithm last week. They're using AI to optimize what people see more. So maybe we're just winning in the content.
Maybe we're just someone just messaged me on Twitter and says
because they just think it's AI.
Yeah. Someone just says probably because we were talking about it's because we were talking about the NSN, but we talk about those guys all the time.
We were actually trending higher right at the beginning of the show. It's just kept building.
Yeah.
So I think there's good promotion on X at the moment.
It's just because I changed
right now we have more than Reuters. Reuters are doing the World War I armistice commemoration at the Arc de Triomphe, and we're doing like considerably more numbers than that. That's funny.
That's funny. I guess we'll have to see what happens, right? Like I am in two minds, and I always sort of fence in on this stuff. Like, free speech absolutists, I'm concerned that there'll be a crackdown, but I think it's going to come anyway. And the government is a hammer in search of a nail on this issue, and they're going to find that nail no matter what. So, if I'm right and it does happen, I'll be sad that it happened. But then there is that part of my brain that thinks that the only option then is to speed run what's happening in the UK. Right? People are going to get arrested.
Yeah.
You need to make sob stories about them. Right, you need to show that this is, this person is a family man who was arrested because he said that it's okay to be white, or said that remigration is important, and start turning around the public opinion.
Well, look, they had full blown censorship before the French Revolution. Where every single paper had to be approved. It was like, and they couldn't contain it under those conditions. Like, there's no way that you can actually suppress political speech on the internet. I just think it's an insane thing to even try to do.
And you just can't, because the more you try and suppress it, the worse it gets, right? Yeah. And this is what happened. So the example I always give, to take it back to the NSN stuff, is back in between 1974 and 1977. There were two registered parties in Australia, the National Socialist Party of Australia and the Australian National Socialist Party. Between them, they got 1.4% of the vote. They ran in, I think, 3 elections. no one cared. Like, they just didn't make a big deal out of them, and they weren't on the news every night. No one gave a shit about them at all. Nothing bad happened at all. Cut forward to now, and you've got all this acrimony that's being driven essentially by the mainstream media. So the whole idea of censorship, when you're going to come out and say, "Oh yeah, we're going to censor what you can do and say online," but the mainstream media is still allowed to promote and condemn whatever they want, right? So freedom for me, but not for thee. That's insane, right? That's never going to work in a million years, and it's just going to make things worse. Like, I could see a scenario in Australia where if this keeps going, that in 5 or 6 years, what passes for a progressive is going to look back and say, "Man, I miss the Nazis because these new guys that are talking about eating everyone, they're really bad." Like, that's what ends up happening.
The cannibalist Australia Party.
Yeah. I mean, I know I go on about that a lot, but like the individualist cannibalist ideology that is beyond the Nazis on the spectrum.
Well,
like,
we've put about 10,000 of them into the military.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to promote that as a party at the same time as they're banning the White Australia Party. It's like, well, so the cannibals are okay?
Well, someone said, I think,
okay.
I mean, there's so many comments flying through at the moment. It's wild. But Green Goblin said a while ago,
which suggests that we really do have a lot more people.
It's just crazy. Green Goblin was saying, I'll try and find the comment. Oh, that's not the comment. It was either Green Goblin or someone else that was saying that there's an Indigenous Australia Party, which is registered federally, right? So, like,
and in New South Wales, there was a thing called the Unity Party, which was actually for Chinese people. It was like a Chinese lobby. It was like a Chinese lobbying party. Yeah,
I came across them in student politics.
Yeah, they would have been around. Yeah, those guys were crazy. Hey,
yeah, of course they were.
I'm just. What have we got here?
Well, Green
There's
wants
a name
to know.
clash because the Labour Right faction was called Centre Unity, but they called themselves like the Centre Forum or something.
I don't think they even exist anymore, do they? Centre Unity. Green Goblin says, "John, what's your vibe on One Nation polling?" It's a really good question, man. I mean, the polling's accurate. The question is, can One Nation run in every single seat to capture an entire country's worth of votes to get to 15%? And I think the answer is no. I think the answer is 100% no, unfortunately.
Do we have any better information about what their kind of branch rollout really means? Because we are
getting a fair bit, and I've been very. It's sounding okay, like it's sounding better than maybe we thought it was at the beginning. And there's actually some guys in the chat who I know have joined after our discussion last week. And like a lot of people have been pretty optimistic about it, particularly outside of Queensland. I don't know anyone who's done it in Queensland, but a lot of people are reporting back that there's really good like local activists for One Nation in Victoria, New South Wales, here in Tasmania, who want to start up branch structures. So it's actually looking pretty good.
But
just on Green
have
Goblins,
they put it in place where they can't rug pull, or are they just going to rug pull? Because just
they can rug pull.
Okay. Yeah. They've done this like 3 or 4 times in different states where they go, no, for real. So I know someone who knew the New South Wales organizer, and basically he was like, they've told me from head office, we're doing it for real this time. We're going to set it up and we're going to have a proper party in New South Wales. And, once we get to a certain number of members, it's going to be, it's going to run its own thing. And, obviously we all agree on the same kind of policies, and then they just at some point, 18 months later, they just rug pulled him. They just went, no, give us all the money you've raised, and we're going to tell you exactly how to run the campaign, and these are the candidates, and if you don't like it, you can fuck off. And he did, right? So, like, are they going to do that again? Because they've done it so many times. Like, I don't know.
The big question a lot of guys...
Right? There's a lot of skepticism out there, and a lot of it's valid because the rug has been pulled before. I'm not sure what it looks like now. They can still pull the rug now. They haven't substantively changed the power structures at the top end of the party.
Mhm.
And then the question is, to John's point, can they run someone in every single seat? Probably not. But also, what's the peak of their polling? Now, I said that they wouldn't get to 15%. I was fucking wrong about that, but I'm going to make another prediction and probably get that wrong. I can't see them growing much more until they announce some substantive policies, because right now, the bleed across to One Nation has purely just been because the Libs suck and the Libs need to die, right? And but how much of that bleed actually happens? And then, sure, Malcolm Roberts has put out some good stuff. Malcolm Roberts is talking about remigration. He's talking about lowering migration to minuscule levels, but is that an official party policy? I don't know.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. And this is the thing. And maybe if you get enough guys in the branches who are advocating for it, maybe that helps. I mean, we had the unfortunate Jared Rennick crash out earlier, before the October marches. I mean, Rennick actually has a really good immigration policy. He just sells it so badly. He was there online saying, "Yeah, we're going to bring in 100,000 people," and you've got fucking Kmart mums and tuck shop nationalists losing their minds, going, 100,000 idiots! But actually, it was below replacement rate. It's like the lowest immigration policy in Australian history. He had a great policy, but it hasn't helped him. I don't know if policies are really going to get you across the line at this point. It's the vibe, right?
It is. Who even knows? Who even knows what changes votes? But,
Leonardo Puglisi, who is randomly bowled into our stream, just said One Nation have contested every seat since 2022 federally. Yes, that's true. But what I mean is you need to run up to a certain standard in every single seat. And I think I did a Substack on this last week called Phonomology, which is a mouthful that looks a lot better when you write it than if you ever have to say it, where I said, the underlying assumptions of every poll are that actors have access to perfect information, that everyone acts rationally, and that everyone is equally competent, and then the numbers will come true. But One Nation have proved time and time again that they're not competent. They can't campaign to the same level of competency as the competition, and that they don't run rationally.
Their voters don't vote rationally as well.
Cos Samaras.
The reason I'm worried about the rug pull is because I categorize their kind of party management style as paranoid, right? Their head office wants complete control. They're worried about losing any kind of control.
Well, it's a family band basically, which is like the same criticism you hear of Advance, which is it's a closed shop. I mean, look at what happened with their New South Wales Senate pre-selection, right? They just picked this guy that, his only qualification is putting up with Pauline Hanson and James Ashby for a decade, and so he gets a seat. He's not an ideal candidate. But, what I was saying was the biggest problem is if you look at the 7 seats that Cos identified as being the seats that the new right could win, seats like New England, seats like some of the National Party seats, One Nation run dead in those. One Nation run dead because they don't want the sitting candidates to lose. Yeah, Green Goblin says ghost candidates, right? So they run ghost candidates in the strongest conservative seats. And so if you're sitting there looking at these polling numbers, those polling numbers reflect what the people in those seats think, weighted more heavily than anywhere else. So if One Nation repeat that, if they run dead against CPAC Liberals and Gina-approved Nationals, then they will only get 5%. You'll have a repeat of what happened with One Nation before Mark Latham left. In the New South Wales election, there were credible polls showing them on 9% in New South Wales. And then in the final wash-up, I can't remember if they were barely on 4 or if they were below 4 or barely on 5, but it was roughly half. They did half as well in primaries than they were meant to. And a big part of that was just some of them just irrational choices they made, like running in Mark Courret and Matt Keane's seats, in these majority Chinese seats, where they thought they could give a black eye to the guys who disagree with them on climate nonsense. Like that's what I mean when I say they're irrational and they're incompetent, is put stuff like that. So look, it'd be great if they can get more members in, but they really need to start thinking seriously about how they might actually perform in an election campaign.
Get some good consultants in, John?
Leo, I have not seen the Ozpol 6 projection of One Nation winning right, because the algorithm is actually burying that stuff for us. I'm worried that this is the step one of Karen suppressing the under 16s or whatever. Yeah, I have not seen that, but I will look at it.
If you can't ban things, you can just flood the internet with inane content, and we're part of their strategy.
Yeah. Well, this is why you're here. This is why the capybara is here. It's the inane content.
Do you know how many questions have been rolling in and out of the?
Oh, I know. But
asking if
does the chat think it's a real capybara? Like, I think the funnier thing is like, who is Enoch Bowden really? That's the conspiracy we need to put out there.
Only I know.
It's going to be. Yeah, I know. I met you. I actually met you at an event whose name I won't mention because I might identify. Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Only 2 people in Australia know who Enoch truly is.
Yeah, he's Barack Obama's State Department cutout. That's why he's the most moderate stream of consciousness, because he secretly works for the US government.
And to the speculators in the chat, there's too little latency for me to be in India. Okay, so
yeah,
I'm definitely local.
So to prove it, say something bad about Vishnu.
Yeah, is Vishnu the one they can't say anything bad about?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Green Goblin says the benefit of One Nation's polling is it's going to be very portable for whatever comes next. I mean, the problem is I think probably like 50% of it isn't, and I mean, there's some rusted on Pauline guys, and there's a lot of Pauline number 2s out there, like people who have just been consistently preferencing Pauline 2 in strong Liberal seats, like particularly in New South Wales, where I'm most familiar with. Like you get down into the Shire, like people probably liked Pauline and the One Nation brand more than the Liberals, but the culture was you voted Liberal 1 and One Nation 2. So I don't think it's that portable, unfortunately. I think someone's got to come out of the woodwork and kind of capture Pauline's energy somehow. I don't know who that's going to be. Beck Freedom, maybe.
Oh, mate, now you're gonna upset her, and then Bender's gonna call us a goon again, and I like that Bender's meltdown was that I asked him to join the stream to explain why he was so fucking salty. Like, this is the thing: is that there's these just, we could bring it back to the March for Australia sort of autism Spurg fest, but like you've got the Chow guy, and then you've got the OGM MFA guys having this meltdown, and we're just kind of in the middle being like, well, do you want to talk about it where like a wider audience can hear what you have to say? And then the response is basically, go fuck yourself. It's like, what?
I really like Chow. Like I think he's really good. I've
never met him.
I love it. I love his videos on the treadmill. Like
that makes me feel fucking lazy, because I've got a treadmill that just I walk down in the morning.
He puts them up at like 5 a.m. and it's like
he's
I love
up
that.
at like 4:30 a.m. obviously getting ready before work and stuff, right? And putting a workout in. And I go downstairs in the morning, and the treadmill looks at me, and I look at it, and there's just this kind of like, sort of guilt that rides over, and then I go and have a bacon and egg roll.
Yeah. No, he is something pretty cool. I mean, look, I'm saying to people, like, don't take sides in MFA versus MFA, but I do think his content is kind of funny.
Well, I just want to take whatever side upsets the most people now, because it's just it's become such a lolcow issue. Like,
yeah, that's right. And look, dude, I sat through. I didn't sit through the whole 5 hour, which I later found out was a 7-hour space that they did last week.
God.
But yeah, it was 7 hours. I listened to probably like 2 hours of it.
Every time I drop into one of those things, it's just totally irrelevant. Like, they're not actually talking about
There'll be like some guy who talks like this.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned on a couple of streams ago, but I jumped into one with Enoch actually to listen in.
Yeah.
And a guy was talking like this, and the first thing I heard was, you know what? You know who no one ever talks about? You never hear about him. It's the Roman Empire. I'm like, really? All the things you don't hear. No one ever talks about the fucking Roman Empire. Apparently, groundbreaking stuff. It just kills me. It just kills me.
I like it when they. I like that there was so many.
Jump on the stream.
Yeah, there were so many funny moments to that stream because sometimes they'd talk about like philosophical concepts. And have you ever seen that movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy, about the Africans, and they're like living out and they haven't encountered white people and they see the planes go over.
Kalahari Bushman.
Yeah, that's how the Much for Australia guys kind of look at Carl Schmidt. So and so this thing went for like I listened for 2 hours, but I understand it went for a lot longer. But like every half hour or so, someone would mention Carl Schmidt, but like they'd get it wrong. They would clearly not understand.
Yeah, they'd be like, so there's this guy named Carl.
Yeah, there's this guy friends. He was a Nazi. Well, he wasn't a Nazi, but he worked for them, and he said there's friends and there's enemies.
And I've got a lot of enemies, but I've also got friends. It's like, oh fuck.
And you've got to know the difference between them.
And then someone always pipes in and goes,
then like there's one of the women is like, yeah, that's right, Dale. Yeah, that's right. There's haters out there. Oh man. It was fun. It was a fun 2 hours. I was in another group chat while we were watching it, and there was some clangers in there, like the one about it's like if Kath and Kim, a lost episode of Kath and Kim where they get transported to the Weimar Republic, and it was brilliant. Anyway,
there's an awful lot of child brothels here, Kim. What's
Look at me. Look at me. You've got to stop printing the currency. Look at me.
Shit.
And I don't know how it ended. I don't know if anyone in the chat listened to it, because I stopped because I go to bed at midnight every night, and I turned it off at like 1:45, and then I woke up the next morning and I tweeted something about it, and someone responded and said, shit, it actually went for 7 more hours. So it went for 2 more hours into like 1 or 2 in the morning. So I can only imagine what the last hour of that stream was like. It kind
of makes me think of like, you know, when you read like Roman general notes about when they first invaded England. As they get there, there's just people with like, you know, picks and whatever, just standing in swamps screaming, and that's what those spaces feel like. It's just
yeah. It was like my experience of running for Parliament down here in Tassie. Like at the end of it, you really do feel that like whatever shred of egalitarianism I had was gone by July 19, and I realized that a significant cohort of Australians, including my own kind of ideological contemporaries, I should only ever have to see while I'm attending their village with a spear to collect taxes. Like I
take their stuff.
I have nothing in common with them at all. And you get really paternalistic about it. Like at the end of it, like I was thinking, yeah, we got to save these people from themselves. Like I don't know what to do with them. But AI could be the solution, right? Like some kind of matrix scenario where we take like the lowest common denominator in our country and we put them in pods and then just put virtual reality headsets on them, just pump nutrients in, and they can, I don't know, do whatever they want. I think that's the future.
We just let them out every couple of months to attend a rally and then put them back in the pod.
Yeah, just go for a march.
Immigrants are stealing our pods.
Immigrants are stealing our pods. Yeah. Have you seen those Apple, the Apple AR headsets? So it's not like a virtual reality headset. It's just like you can still see everything around you, but it's
augmented
got like
reality.
That's the one. When Apple releases the update to just delete people's skin color, like so that you can get into an Uber and you look at the guy with your headset on and he's white, and instead of going on his like headset, it's playing like Wagner or something. Like when Apple perfects that technology, that's the secret to social cohesion, right there. That's the future of Australia. It's just everyone walking around. I don't see color anymore because I've got the Apple headset on.
Someone's asking if we'll set up a Discord. I don't know how to do that, which is an aging moment, but like, I don't know. What's the benefit?
Dude, you want? I have one, but I don't. I'll have to start a new one because I play Dungeons and Dragons with people on my Discord. Yeah. So I don't want you.
We will put one out in the full time. Someone's posted a Discord link that's not ours.
What's the benefit?
Actually, if someone wants to make a stream of consciousness Discord, like a fan page.
Don't do that, because then people will join it, and then we won't be the owners of it, and it'll turn into.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, we'll just lose control of it, and then the owners of it will split, and one of the owners will contact the Israeli government and start getting money if he can run it, but without the guys who have like the Landian accelerationist kind of Nazi ambivalent attitudes. Yeah, that's what's going to eventually happen.
we may well release something like that, but when we do, we will do it.
Yeah.
Well, please explain this to the resident retard. What and how and what is the benefit of a Discord server?
Well, it means there's a central place for the media to find all our most repellent comments and leak them.
Oh,
like
what happened to that guy from Crikey.
Yeah, like what happened to Cameron Wilson.
Well, obviously, you should put your real name into Discord. That's a given.
Well, I mean, you have to after December 10. It'll have to be your real name.
Ooh. Well, no, it's age verification, not like de-anonymization.
True. I don't know how it's going to work on Discord, but yeah,
we'll see.
Rollbags is saying a Discord server is where you get radicalized or tuned out. Okay, right, that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
It's just
well,
a place
with our fans, it's either or. And you know what? To be frank, like I do kind of want somewhere else to hang out because X is really starting to get to me, and
I'm getting sick of the slop. Hey, to be honest, I'm getting sick of the MAGA slop. So.
Can I just give some advice? Use the mute feature.
But this is the thing, right?
If someone posts something that's not true or is crappy slop, I mute them.
Yeah,
and it makes my life better.
This is the thing, though. The crappy slop is now coming from the administration, right, over in America.
Yes.
I'm sick of it. Like. You've got the Department of Homeland Security page like posting, real edits about deporting people.
Oh my god!
Meanwhile,
guys, stop talking for a second. Wait, you there?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I just realized I was listening on a second screen and everyone was talking over each other. I was about to. I was trying to find where to press pause. Fuck! I'm ruining our record-breaking stream with bad technology.
Ahead,
well, what I was saying,
finish what you were saying. Yeah.
The Department of Homeland Security over in America is like posting like real edits of like an America of 100 million people and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, that's not actually happening, right? Like if the Trump administration is announcing 50-year mortgages and 15-year car loans, I'm done. Take it seriously. You've had 12 months. Turn shit around, and the problem is that the slop is getting replicated here. So X is great. Broadly, and it's improved since Elon has taken over Twitter. But like, we got to pay things back a bit. The slop is off the charts, and it's fucking killing me.
The slop accounts coming from our side are the absolute worst right now. And I don't mean to sound misogynistic. I mean, I'm an avowed chauvinist, but I try not to be a misogynist. But I have a new policy where if a woman is like gets into my feed now, I'm like probably muting it. Like you can be fairly certain it is just going to be the most repellent take you've ever seen. And I'm sure except for Selena, but some of them are just so obviously AI. Like so many of them are AI. I even fell for one the other day. One of you guys in the chat actually will remind me of this because it was one of my like rare L's. You busted me following an AI account with like 40,000 fucking followers, and I'd retweeted it. I didn't even realize it was AI until much later.
It's
Devil We Want says, "How many beers, John?" 3. I've had 3 today. Yeah.
Nice. People are starting to name some of the slop accounts. We'll probably start another war. Start naming
Fuckwit Capital knows my favorites. Yeah, he's that's one of them. Yeah,
that is one of them.
Some good ones.
Seafaring Yuppie saying even Selena. No, Selena gets to stay.
Selena's been fantastic lately too. Selena's
she
shit just keeps getting better and better.
She appeared in the stream earlier. She probably buggered off, but
she popped in. Yeah, I don't think she's got. I imagine Selena's like has to do a lot of. Have you read her Substacks? Like she must do a lot of reading, like way more reading than I do.
Yeah, I've read a couple. She's back. G'day.
Yeah, Selena's
jump
back,
on the stream.
Yeah, what in your Helly Hansen jacket that What's News was hassling you about today?
Oh yeah, I saw that. Like,
it's still just a brand that exists in the world.
We can go back to our original stream when we had Mick and Drew having their ethnic conflict and Selena like struggling to get a word in.
Mick, actually, I don't know if Mick's in the stream, but Mick sent me the funniest message the other day, and it was something about how, we've got to get away from these spaces where people are just like yelling at each other and stuff. I was like, Mick, that's you. That's exactly what you do. Do you know what is interesting? Mick's a good poster. Like Mick's not slop. I've seen a lot less. Like, have you noticed the Topher Fields and everyone kind of disappeared lately? They've really calmed down.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of that content is kind of not happening as much. I don't know what happened there, but
yeah, maybe the money run out. You know what's interesting? Have you noticed how it's been about a month, so it syncs pretty neatly with the US shutdown?
Yeah, true. USA, true.
Yeah, it's a weird coincidence. It's like how they kept saying how all the school shootings since USA got shut down, they're using really shitty guns now. Like the days of a guy having like
it's like
it's like at best it's like a basic Palmetto State Armory thing. But yeah, I have noticed that all those guys have drastically reduced their posting output since the shutdown. The only guy who's like posted through who does big numbers is probably Drew, but I mean, I don't know if we'll ever figure out which government is secretly backing Drew.
I feel like Drew has a rotating wheel of governments.
Hey, Liam says Topher Field got shadow banned. Is that true? What did Topher?
Oh, really?
How is Topher shadow banned, but we aren't? Like we're doing we're doing more numbers than if the Topher were doing a month, and we are way more controversial.
Well, look, to be fair to Topher, he does crush it on YouTube, but if he's been shadow banned on X, I mean that's not good. Wait, how? He posts like the most uncontroversial like stuff out there. It's standard conservative libertarian, viewpoints. How the hell does that happen? Or did he get like mass flagged or something?
Maybe, but see, that is a risk for guys. I think. So that was that leftist that one of the left wingers told me that Fatah Ali guy got mass flagged. That's how he dropped off. He didn't really crash out because he dared a neo-Nazi to prove they had a higher IQ than him. but people are doing a fair bit of that. But I don't know. Like you get back on. After a few days. But most of our friends saying
maybe it's because he's got heaps of merch links or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, that's true. I noticed when I was because I promote every one of these streams. I usually put $40 behind it, which is why before when I was being quiet, I actually freaked out when the numbers were so big. I went, wait a second, did I really do just $40? Because what did I do 4,000? So I had to dive into it.
What's happened?
Yeah, no, it's still this is what $40 gets you. But I do $40 every week, and we generally only get like 2,000 $40. Yeah. So, so I'm not really sure how that happened. I don't know.
People sometimes ask us if we're going to start asking for donations. Look, if you ever see us, just get us a beer, I guess. If you see a capybara walking down the street, just ask him if he wants a beer.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah. I don't really need the money. I
Just
mean,
start
I like.
following us and
Yeah.
like engaging with our stuff. That's a good start. You don't need to give us any money.
I like people subscribing to my Substack, but it's free,
Yeah.
so you don't have to
What's
actually
the-
pay any money for it.
What's the Substack link? I guess it doesn't really work posting into the chat because they'll have to then just manually.
It's all right. It's in my Twitter profile, but that's like my intense narcissism. Like when you read an entire one of my Substacks, it's like I'm sucking your soul out. Like I own a piece of you. And Plastic Rice just said John's pokey money. Actually, that's exactly what I do with it. That's exactly what I do with my Substack money.
I read
it
most
comes-
of John's Substack. It's quite good. It's got a distinctive style.
Yeah,
I
it
would
does.
say, have you ever been compared to John Birmingham?
No, I wouldn't even like that. I mean, I'm aiming for more like Bret Easton Ellis or William S. Burroughs, or
See, I'm
someone cool.
not that
And
familiar
gay.
with those two. But
Yeah.
I know John Birmingham. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
How many
really going
subs
for
have you
John
got?
Birmingham.
Fuck, he's asking.
I only like 200.
That's not bad.
But
given you've only-
there's like
only posted a few articles.
But there's 50 guys who pay for it, and I haven't put up anything behind the paywall yet. So I've got this piece I've written about the whole Lehrman trial fiasco, and I'm going to put that behind the paywall and say, which is not because I want to make any money, but just to really annoy journalists so that they have to pay to get it. So I may do that soon. Now that I got about 50 guys who are literally all in this stream, I will. Steely Dan Enjoyer says, "Shout John a pouch of White Ox." Man, I like vaping, dude. Like, I'm 40. I'm about to turn 42 years old. I smoked for 20 years of my life, and when I stopped and started vaping, I can walk upstairs and I don't snore.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm not going to start smoking again. I miss it though, dude. Like, fuck. Last week, I've never wanted a cigarette so much in my fucking life. Like, I was waking up at night thinking about it. I was having like cigarette dreams. My neighbor smokes, and occasionally I'd like get like a whiff of it. And yeah, I'm
a
really
vape is
struggling
like
with it.
a vape is like a well-adjusted wife that takes care of you, whereas a cigarette is like that crazy ex that you just think about every now and again. That's the way I sort of view it.
Yeah. Taryn just said one journo will pay for it and share it to everyone else. Yeah, but if I catch them doing that, I'll sue them, which has worked out so well for everyone else involved in the Lehrman.
Oh yeah, definitely need some legal action.
Just make sure you ask other people to pay for it.
Yeah, you can set the different paywall levels. So I was thinking about putting it behind. I don't know how high they go, but like, could I put it behind like a $10,000 paywall?
I don't know, but like George Christensen has a massive Substack following. And
Oh yeah, we were talking about that last
heaps
week.
of paid
He's got
members,
like 100,000. Yeah.
140,000 followers, and then of those, like it's like 5% of them are paid, which is a lot of people.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
He's got 5% paid.
I think so.
I mean, I have like 30% paid, but mine's pretty niche. So,
I'll double check that. Maybe I got the numbers wrong, but even at 5% on 140,000, that's heaps of people pitching in.
Adam, there is actually, if you want to DM me, there is something happening this week. I think a few of us getting together. So,
Yeah, nice.
I was meant to come to Sydney this week, but I can't now. So, I've got.
That's all right.
Are you going to miss the event?
Me and the Capybara will hang out. Anyway.
Sorry guys. Seafaring Yuppie says, "Switch to Zins, you dirty vape fiend." I like the kind of articulation of the vape, but I do use Zins when I have to fly or do anything important.
Zins are like chewing tobacco kind of thing, right?
No, it's
Put 'em in your
it's
lip.
a pouch that you sort of rest between your cheek and your gum, and then the nicotine enters your system through an osmucosal process, just to really nerd out.
That's
it's
like
great.
That's like an actually healthy way to take nicotine.
Well, it's like the healthiest way to take nicotine,
Yeah.
bar none.
Yeah.
Which again, in our country's peak retardation, it's completely banned.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, one of the funniest news stories today for my Tasmanian fans. Tasmania are doing a big crackdown on vapes and illegal tobacco at the moment, and they had Felix. Oh, what's his name? I can't remember the fucking police minister's name. He's a moron, but he got up there and he did this like big spray on the federal government. And he said, "Yeah, it's this massive policy failure, and everything they've ever done has gone badly. And by the way, we're doing another crackdown." Like, come on, man. And he made it all about cost of living, which is a really big issue down here. Like, for so many people in Tasmania, illegal tobacco has just been life-changing for them because they can live their, little peasant lives with their tobacco that they need without going broke. So there's no downside. Like, I mean, lung cancer. I mean, none of these guys are going to live very long anyway. Their genetics are terrible. But, we need... Yeah, I might start again in maybe like 5 or 6 years. Like, I just want to have a little bit of time off. Your 40s are the worst time, apparently, because it's prostate. If for guys in my my lifestyle, it's bowel, lungs, heart. That's what you got to watch in your 40s. Once you get out the other side of that, if you're okay, then you might as well just start.
Probably all right.
That's my
okay. That's it. So once I hit 50. Back on the darts.
Yeah. I'm paranoid about my balls and prostate. They're the big ones. Like, I'd go and get the fucking tests every week if I could. They don't like you doing it.
Hang on, is this you announcing a kink, or is this you talking like...
No, dude, they don't see. This is how you guys have so long to go, right? You don't need to get the thumb up the bum anymore. They don't do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I'll take the prostate cancer. I'm good.
It hasn't been the finger up the date in years. They can now do a blood test, and they pick.
That raises a lot of questions about what my doctor was doing.
Yeah, and that and that's the reason why. So, have you seen these figures out recently? They said there's been like a 400% increase in male prostate cancer, right? And it's all because of the blood tests. Because back in the day, you'd be getting up at night and pissing like a racehorse, and the doctor would stick his finger up there and go, "Oh, it's a bit big," and then you go in for the thing or whatever, and they find out you got cancer. Nowadays, you do the blood test; they catch it so much earlier. And did you know this is an incredible statistic that I learned? The majority of men, an overwhelming majority of men, in their autopsies, have prostate cancer.
Really?
Like it's not the leading cause of death, but like we all get it on a long enough time frame. So because the blood test, they're detecting the prostate cancer that we all get even earlier. And so you can actually do something about it. And the best thing is you can do something about it before they need to cut it out, which sucks. Like that's like you don't want it to lose your prostate. Yeah, Green Goblin said, we all asked for John's dating advice segment and said we get Dr. McGowan chat. Well, I'm telling you guys, like, look after your health. Do the prostate test. Go do the bowel one too, like shit in the bag. There is nothing more satisfying than taking your own shit and mailing it to the Australian Department of Health. Like, there's nothing better. It's just a highlight. Like you get it. I'm sending them more than they need too. Like they say, like, oh, you need like this little swab. I'm getting like whole turds in there and mailing them.
Given the amount of people that have tuned into the stream, there is going to be one person whose job was to catalog the stream, and they'll have to explain to their colleague that it immediately pivoted to shitting in bags and mailing it to the
Yeah. I mean, if only there was like a cancer that you can mail your piss for. I don't know if there's any piss. But...
Just do it anyway.
The other thing you can do, if you want some, like,
the need an excuse.
The third plank of McGowan's
McGowan's
unsolicited health advice. Donate blood. Like, you should always donate blood and plasma, because. Like, firstly, it's like
this is McGowan's bodily fluids corner, and his advice is send it, ship it.
It is the whitest thing you can do. Like, if you're sitting there, if you're a fasci goy, if you're a transgressive radical and a right winger of any stripe, and you are looking for what is like the whitest thing I can do, go to the Red Cross and donate blood. and everyone is white. It's like a white person thing. You will never see a non-white person in there giving blood. But the other cool thing is they catch so much of this stuff because they're testing your blood all the time. Friend of mine actually caught his bowel cancer when he did it. He was doing like platelets every 14 days, and they actually caught it. Yeah. Pussy Terrorist says blood donation is the only way to remove PFAS from your body. But I do feel like that. I feel better after I give plasma because it's like your yellow humors being taken out of your body.
Yeah, it's like 17th century logic.
Yeah, you do. When you watch it, when they're sucking the yellow stuff out and then the red stuff is going back in, I do feel like a lot more vital. Taryn says, well, yes, I know there are criticisms of what they use it for. I wish there was a box that I could tick to say that they won't use it for the neo pussies, because apparently that's what they use the platelets for. So
for the what?
The like surgical, like the post-op,
the hoo-ha,
post-op.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. Okay.
Whatever it's called, I don't want to say it. But...
I just want to check that we've cleared out the docket because we're getting close to 2 hours.
Jeez, that went fast.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun in there, guys.
We had NFA versus MSA, NSN versus New South Wales, X crash out. Well, we didn't quite do X crash outs, and then
that was more just that was more the Kelly Sloan and Spender, and that was his name, Farquhar Ali. The guy, yeah. So we more or less covered that. Look, the NSN and the MFA were the big news this week, and I think we got across them. And I think now the McGowan heads and what are we calling sock fans?
Sock fans,
sock lords. I don't know. Well, whatever you guys are, maybe
like sort of like the flood from Halo. We call them the conscious.
The consciousness, yeah.
Fuck
you, says Mike Burgess. That's probably the last. Yeah, I mean,
sock puppets. That's a good one.
Sock puppets. Yeah, we just call them sock puppets. Nice. Perfect. Well done. Yeah. Fuck you asked me about Mike Burgess. I am writing something on that, and I want to get my thoughts in order on it. But I mean, long story short, these guys are fucked, and we need like root and branch intelligence community reform in Australia. Like, this can't go on. I mean, how many millions of taxpayer dollars are they going to waste? So, look, Burgess went to the Lowy Institute this week, and he opened. Mike Burgess is the head of ASIO,
right?
The Australian Security Intelligence Organisation, which is it's a thing that exists in Australia. Whether or not it's any good is up for debate. So he went to the Lowy Institute, and he pops up like every 2 months. Like, you can set your watch by it. He pops up, and he stands in front of a camera. He goes to the press club, or he goes to like some kind of like Sydney Institute type nonsense, and he says, "Oh, don't you worry, we're catching all kinds of foreign interference. I can't tell you about any of it, but here's a secret operation that we did that I can't tell you anything about. And you just have to trust us because none of the guys involved are going to prison and we're not charging anyone, but it's happening." He does this.
Conditions under which we found out that apparently the Iranians had run the caravan up.
Well, no, that was...
That was like that run thing where they said it was the Iranians. We never.
It was the Iranians,
and then we haven't heard anything more about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the like first thing you need to know about the Australian intelligence community, which I can't believe that the media don't mention this more, is if you look in the ASIO Act, if you look in the Australian Security Intelligence Service Act, it is there in black and white that they are the only agencies who can lie to you. Right, they can lie for national security reasons. Now, the Defense Department cannot lie for national security reasons. They can not tell you things. They can say that's classified. Or I think we use different language, but they can't lie. The AFP cannot tell you things for operational reasons, but they can't lie. ASIO and ASIS and ONA can lie. They're allowed to lie. And so when Mike Burgess stands up and says his stuff, like, is it the truth? Who fucking knows? There's no way to prove it. How you prove it is evidence. And Evidence is put a guy in the dock, right? Where surely there were domestic cutouts. Surely there was an Iranian guy they could arrest. Surely there are Chinese United Workfront guys they could arrest. There are domestic assets they could arrest.
It was convenient that they just shut down the embassy and then that was it.
Ryback says 90% of their time is spent surveilling nationalists. That's bullshit, dude. 90% of their time is paperwork and briefing cabinet ministers and sweet fuck all. It's producing intelligence reports that go to owner, that go to cabinet, that go back to ASIO. Like there's no work. They're not doing anything. And
I interrupted you. What did he say recently? Because I kind of pulled you back into the past there.
So his most recent one, the Lowy Institute one, was where he came out and said that like the National Socialist Network is a massive threat and that he's looking into them. He dropped this about the week before they went and did their march. I mean, I reckon it might have been a factor behind the NSN guys going, yeah, fuck it, let's go and do something.
Farkey wants to know Senate estimates.
What's the nature of the threat?
Fuck you, they can literally lie to anyone because the Act says they are allowed to break the law. They're the only ones who can. They can break the law, right? And I don't know why people, like, in the past, that's why you kind of don't have them out there. They're not like a part of civil society. Intelligence agencies have never been a part of civil society. Intelligence agencies have always been in the background, and maybe they pop up when someone retires and they do like a retrospective. 30-year cabinet rules really help. But traditionally, they've not been someone you would put up in front of a camera. I don't know what's changed. Barack Obama had a really good post today where he reminded people that he's really good friends with Kash Patel. So maybe Google the implications of that. I don't know. The Australian intelligence community is in a lot of trouble. And, I think we're at serious risk of something bad happening in this country at some point. And I know, like, when Brian talks about, bad as in having our freedoms taken away, my fear is that something legitimately bad happens by a third party. Like some kind of terrorist attack, something like that.
Because these guys
on the radar that these guys miss. Yeah. Which, if you go back and if you read the 9/11 Commission reports, like that is exactly what happened in the United States. Like all the fun conspiracy theories aside, that's exactly what happened with 9/11. Was the CIA had gotten shit and let this one fly under the radar, quite literally, and it destroyed the planet, and we're still living with the consequences of it today. And I really worry that could happen in Australia.
Robo's asking what he's saying. So when they said the caravan was the Iranians or Qataris, that might have been a lie. Well, no one's been arrested, right? And this is the thing.
Yeah, dude, who cares? It's like saying, I mean, who was Ivan Milat's fucking accomplice? Like who were the guys in the Epstein files, right? Like none of it matters unless you get an arrest. Go out and get an arrest. And when you say to Mike Burgess, what more powers do you need to go get arrests? He starts talking bullshit about how he needs to crack down on guys who are protesting about the Jewish lobby and not about foreign governments who are participating in this kind of stuff. Australia has to get aggressive with these guys and put one of them in jail. It's the only thing we can do. We've got 2 outstanding foreign interference charges right now. They're both for low-ranking Defence Force officers who were linked to Russia, who were leaking nonsense. We've got one other who's the Israeli guy who was fired over his security clearance, and that doesn't really count. Like, meanwhile,
we've got a lead on a guy who was rumored to be selling submarine secrets.
That guy. Look at him. Look, he just got away with it, right? Like they couldn't touch him. See what I mean? I mean that's how I knew that whole thing was a joke, right? When I've got these when there's no armed people in my house, when it's just a bunch of nerds from the NAC, and I'm like, come on, guys! Like if I'd have really done this, wouldn't I have a black bag on my head? Like I'd be in Guantanamo or something, right?
They all look like they don't want to be there.
Yeah, so Australia needs to get its shit together on this stuff, or something bad will happen. Because right now, these guys are just operating with impunity. And if you're, particularly if you live in Sydney, to a lesser extent Melbourne, because it's not really much economically there, but like if you're in that strata of society, if you're going out with property developers, with people in finance and people in government relations in Sydney, like, you know, there are Chinese spies. Like, they will get drunk at establishment and tell you they are Chinese spies. Like, everyone, there's actually a really interesting ICAC inquiry going on at the moment, where every second guy in there has at some point been a Chinese asset. So, you know, everyone knows this stuff goes on. Huang Zhimao, who was the guy who was bankrolling Labor through the mid-2010s, ICAC had a warrant out for him. ICAC were going to put him on the stand. And then ASIO ordered his deportation back to China, so he'd never have to give evidence. Like, They don't care about getting justice for Australians who feel like they're being manipulated and having our sovereignty eroded. Well, what happened to Brian? Did ASIO get to him? Oh, he's back.
No, I went to mute myself.
Can't be a part of the story. Can't be a part of the story.
Yeah, the Rothschilds got to you. But yeah, look. Anyway, I'm going to put all that stuff down in the Substack for you guys. That will be free. You won't have to buy me a coffee for it. I'll tell you the one that you have to pay for. I don't think we'll ever be able to monetize any of this stuff somehow.
Yeah,
maybe that's why we're able to get away with it. Holy shit, guys! We're almost at 20,000 on air.
We've cracked it.
I've
Just
got us at 20,000 view exposures. Yeah.
Oh well, 20. It's 20,000 plus Brian. Yeah, because we're doing 2.
All right. Cool.
That's crazy.
I don't understand how that happened. Well, anyway, good.
Me neither. It's got $40 worth of promoted post spot behind it. That's it. There's no way.
Welcome to our new sock puppets.
Yeah, welcome guys. Like and subscribe or whatever.
Yeah, well, we've cracked our 2-hour window, so we'll probably wrap up relatively soon. Look, as always, thanks everyone for jumping on the stream. Thanks to all of our regular viewers who tune in every week, and then to all of our new sock puppets who have joined as well. I'll put up the banner that has our YouTube channel for those of you who want to subscribe to our YouTube. It's youtube.com/SOC_pod. And as always, thank you. Stay conscious. John, always good to see you. Enoch, I'll see you soon
guys.
with some beers.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
See you guys. We need outro music.
We do. I'll work on that for the next stream.
Next stream we need outro music.
Yeah, for the next stream I'll do an outro. I've also got to update the intro video to include Enoch, but
yeah. As an AI capybara. And a new photo of me because I lost a bunch of weight since July. So
yeah, all right.
I want a new picture.
Sounds good.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
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 I think we're still